Hello everyone, welcome back to another ASMR video game pickups video. The last game from eBay has arrived today, the 20th of May, and hilariously, anytime I order something on eBay or Mercari or anywhere, and it happens to be coming through the Atlanta post office, it always gets delayed weeks. For whatever the reason, the Atlanta post office is the worst. It's where what you buy item-wise go to die until someone finds them. Surprisingly, when these people shipped the last game out, the update said I'd get it by the 20th, by today. And I said to myself yesterday, the 19th, I said, oh, it's in the Atlanta post office. There's no way I'm going to get it by today. And lo and behold, I got an email notification saying it was delivered, and I said, you gotta be kidding me. So the good news for all of us, and for you, and for me, is I can finally do this massive video game pickup video for your viewing pleasure, and I can finally put these games away, or attempt to. I am running out of room. If I cannot fit these games, there's this bookshelf on Amazon that I may purchase, and it would replace the bookshelves behind me where the books are, because the bookshelf is, I think, the same height and width as what I have now, but just a lot more shelves, if that makes any sense. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I can Tetris the games in somewhere. But anyway, let's get to it. So we got multiple systems, and at the end of the video, there's going to be a little bit of a surprise. And when I say surprise, nothing major, but a little nice way to end the video with some stuff I was able to find. So, I think the first system we should do is the PlayStation 1. We have a lot of games to go through. First up, we have 2 Extreme. This was basically a Sony's version of California Games. And also, interestingly enough, this is the sequel. The first version was ESPN. I forget exactly what the name of it was called, but it was like ESPN Extreme Sports or something. That was the actual first game in this series. I always thought this was like too extreme, meaning you're too extreme, but no. This is actually, it's a play on words. It may mean that, but ultimately it's the second game in the series. But I had this as a kid growing up, and it says Ollie Method Air Sketching Tweaked Boned. Snowboard in Japan, inline skate in Las Vegas, mountain bike in Africa, and skateboard in Los Angeles. All new point system allows you to compete in a season and earn points based on your finish, special moves, and knockdowns. 4 types of power-ups and 10 different characters gives you the chance to become an extreme champion. Pull off awesome maneuvers like backside rail grabs, and ollie airs on the skateboard and curves, 360s and Japans on the snowboard. Kick and punch your way to the finish, compete in a season on 12 intensely insane courses, 2-player split-screen racing, 4 levels of difficulty, and create your own player make, 2 Extreme or Rush. What was I going to say? I don't recall. I do not remember what I was going to just say. But anyway, I got 2 Extreme for you here. Next up for the PS1, we have Ape Escape. Now, Ape Escape was the first game to feature the analog controller, where you could only play the game with that controller and with the analog sticks. The D-pad would not work, and if you did not have a DualShock controller, the game would not play. So, you better get them before they get you. A boisterous band of baboons carry out a daring zoo escape. It's ape anarchy, and it's up to you to stop the chimps before they make chumps out of the human race. The first and only game that takes full advantage of the DualShock analog controller. Use both analog sticks, rotate them, sling them back, and push them down for unequaled and revolutionary controller action. Hunt down over 200 unruly apes, operate great gadgets, a tank, a remote control car, a stun club, and time net, a sky flyer, a slingshot, a monkey radar, and more. Bonus rounds, mind-twisting minigames, and clock racing time attacks for unbelievable fun. PlayStation Magazine said, "We give this game our highest recommendation," and it was a really good seller and did really well in reviews when it came out. Let me just see. I can kill two birds with one stone here. I can put these games in their cases. Okay, these aren't them. I'm going to move these because I don't... I'm going to sell those. Here we go. Here's what we're looking for. Alright, so... I don't know if you can hear in the background, but right now it is pouring rain where I'm at, so it might be relaxing. Hopefully you can hear my voice over the rain falling and have the air conditioning on here in the game room. So let's throw this in, and this doesn't want to cooperate, does it? Let's see if we can do it from this angle. We can. But for some reason it does not. Why? There we go. Yeah, these are not made the best. Okay. Ape Escape. Alright. Next up we have Bushido Blade from Squaresoft. This game was a sword fighting game and did really well. One of the most unusual and extraordinary fighting games ever, says PSX magazine. Bushido is the soul of Japan, an ancient honor code deeply followed by samurai warriors for centuries. Plunge into real-world battles across vast 3D environments that you can run, slice, and tear through. Sword matches become unbelievably real, where one crucial blow is the mean difference between death and victory. Nothing less than amazing, says GameFan. 1 and 2 player combat, 6 awesome fighting modes, 6 skilled warriors, 8 ancient swords and weapons, plus unique sub-weapons and countless special moves. And I believe in this game, the only way you could win is if you plunged your sword through the guy. Like if you just hacked away and hacked away and hacked away, you couldn't win. No matter how much blood was spilling out, you literally had to impale the guy with your sword. And remember, this came out in 1997, so we're talking 26 years ago, and that's what I recall from when I played it when it first came out. I could be wrong, so in the comment section just tell me if I am wrong. It'd be embarrassing if I am, but I'll take the L. Let's put this together. Now, you might be wondering as we go through this, is this the largest game video I've ever done? No. If you go to my regular YouTube channel, Andy VHB, you will see a category of video game pickup videos, and there's one where I think I had over 300 games, I believe, in one video. Could be wrong, you'd have to double check, but so this is nowhere near that, but it's still a hefty pickup, a hefty haul, if you will. Alright, next up, cult classic, even though the case is cracked and I'm not happy about that. Duke Nukem Time to Kill from GT Interactive Software. Now there was a couple, I think, of Duke Nukem games that came out for the PS1. This is the first one, and this is the one I had. I didn't care really for the others. I'm not really a third or first person shooter guy. I've never been that guy, but I remember as a kid, the boss at the video game store I worked at was so obsessed with Duke Nukem that, you know, just to be part of the group, I wanted to play it, and I did, and I couldn't get into it really because I'm not good at these types of games. I don't have the patience for them, but soundtrack is available on Red Interactive Records, and Let Them Eat Lead. Travel through time in an all-new Duke Nukem Fragfest that gives you more of what you crave. More Duke attitude, more hardcore action, more exploration, and more shooter mayhem. 28 massive single and two-player levels annihilate ancient Rome. Play Duke in third-person perspective for the first time ever. Tame the Wild West. 20 all-new annihilating weapons light up LA. And hardcore Nukem action, shooting and exploration, conquer the Dark Ages. You could have gone, and I don't know if it's still available, or still up and running, but duke-nukem.com. So let's put this in its case. Again, I really don't know where I'm going to be able to put all of these games here, because I'm really running out of space shelf-wise here. I bought an Assassin's Creed book. Bought two of them actually. One's a novel. Both of them are actually novels, but two. No, I made a mistake. Two actually are mangas. They are the continuation of a series called, I think, Dynasty or something. I'm way off on the name of it. I apologize, but it's a manga about China. It's not Xiao Jun's adventures. It's something else. It's with a male assassin, and or maybe it's Japan. I forget where he's at, but he has to. Yeah, it's Dynasty. That's what it is. I think it's Assassin's Creed Dynasty, and there's 5 volumes. I only had the first 3. I thought it ended at 3, and I was on Amazon the other day, probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's a 4 and a 5? Well, that's interesting. So I came in here and I said, do I have these? And sure enough, I didn't. So I bought them. But having said that, when I put them on the shelf, I realized I was running out of room quick. And there's a lot of Assassin's Creed novels coming out soon. One, which I have right over here, is the prequel to Assassin's Creed Mirage. And the only reason I have not read this book yet is because I'm going to wait until Mirage comes out. Read about Basim, right? And then immediately go to the game itself. So I'm going to hold off on this. But then there's another series coming out in the Assassin's Creed universe that has nothing to do with the games. It's its own standalone story series. And the first book releases in June, so... then there's one, I think, in September or November, and then there's one coming out in March of 24. So, suffice to say, I'm running out of room over there. All right. Next up, this was a spiritual sequel to Streets of Rage. This game, Fighting Force, from Eidos, was really supposed to be Streets of Rage 4, and then they scrapped the idea, created their own game called Fighting Force, and this is what it became. And it did not get good reviews when it came out. It just wasn't a good game. It was not a good game. I liked it because I'm a beat-em-up fan, but it didn't really get great reviews. So, take it outside. This is from creators of Tomb Raider. Fighting Force delivers unparalleled action and tons of attack moves in a fully progressive 3D environment. Smash through an anti-tank barricade, pick up a rocket launcher, and torch incoming enemies, or knock over a vending machine or fuel tanker to find hidden weapons. Features. Choose from 2 male or 2 female characters, each with different skills and strengths. Play alone or in co-op mode to defeat your enemies. Dozens of moves per character. 7 action-packed levels in 22 different stages. Pick up weapons like rocket launchers, shotguns, pipes, guns, grenades, and more. So yeah, originally this was supposed to be a sequel to Streets of Rage, and I forget exactly what happened. I read about this years and years ago, but whatever the reason, either it did not, Sega was not happy with it, or one person ended up leaving, and so they scrapped the project, and whoever left went to Eidos and said, we'll create our own game, and then this ended up being the game that they created. And there was a sequel. There was Fighting Force 2. There was a release on the N64, I believe, called Fighting Force 64. But that was literally it. That was the end of Streets of Rage, really, until the Streets of Rage 4 officially came out. Alright, next we have the OG game that started the series, Gran Turismo, with a giant crack down the middle. Not happy about that. This was a one-disc game, but it did come in a dual-disc case, and this was just empty. This was the manual, and then it came with the reference manual, which is beat up, and the game itself. This reference manual is rough. Oh my god, it's stuck. The pages are stuck together here. I did not know that. I might have to buy the reference manual separately. This is terrible. Yeah, look, I'm ripping it apart. It's bad. This is not good. And it's hard as a rock. This is rough. Now, I remember this when it first came out because I love this hat, but I really love this vest. I always wanted to buy it, and I never bought it. And I don't think I could ever get that again. I'd have to figure out how, but I remember this advertisement like it was yesterday. I wanted this so bad. Anyway, I'm going to have to find a reference manual on eBay to complete this. When this game came out, the graphics were so out of this world that people couldn't believe that they were actually looking at real in-game graphics. And the amount of cars, the amount of real cars, and so this game, for me at least, was extremely tough. I'm usually okay at racing games, but this was so in-depth. You had to take your driver's license test in the game to even race, and I think I got one of the levels of my driver's license, but when it came time to get the next level, I couldn't pass it. I kept failing it. The controls are so hard, and this is a simulation racing game. This is not like a Hydro Thunder or a Road Rash or anything like that. So feel the power of 140 authentic sports cars. Welcome to the most advanced racing game ever created. Encounter exhilarating high-speed racing in 11 stunning environments. Feel handling, agility, and throttle response so convincing, the car seems to be an extension of yourself. Experience the extraordinary world of Gran Turismo. So, Next Generation magazine said, comprehensive and complex, this racing simulation is unrivaled. You have an in-depth simulation mode, purchase new and used vehicles as well as vehicle parts. Realistic vehicle physics, all cars replicate actual performance, handling, drivetrain, and real engine sounds. Customization, all vehicles are totally customizable. Here it shows 11 highly detailed tracks, 2-player racing, you can save your customized vehicle to a memory card and race a friend. Revolutionary 3D graphics, arcade mode, with jumps and power slides. So, yeah, when this game came out, the people went bananas. They couldn't believe what they were looking at because the graphics were just so unbelievable for the time, and it really pushed the PlayStation itself to its limits, even past its limits graphically. So, all right, we got that going for us. Next up, I remember this game. This is a sports game, and I remember this game. I remember looking at previews in Game Informer magazine way, way back in the day. And from what I could see from the screenshots, the graphics look pretty good. The graphics look really good. I was so excited to play it. And again, when I show you these graphics, you're going to laugh. But back in the day, in 1998, for the PlayStation, I thought they were the best looking graphics for a baseball title there ever was. Then the game came out, and it had been delayed and delayed and delayed forever. And it was originally, I believe, entitled Hardball 6. And it got delayed, and finally it came out as Hardball 99. Now, there are two Hardball games that I believe came out for the PlayStation. One is Hardball 5, and it was one of the, I think, either launch titles or one of the first original titles for the system in the year it came out. And it had sprite graphics, right? But this had polygonal graphics. And I could be wrong, correct me, but I believe that's Larry Walker on the cover there. Did Larry Walker play for the Padres, or did he play for the Rockies? No, this isn't Larry Walker. I don't know who this is. But anyway, here's what the graphics look like. And I don't know if you can see, but in the magazine, the graphics look incredible. Maybe it's Ken Caminiti. The more I think about it, this could be Ken Caminiti on the cover. Anyway, as real as it gets, the all-time best simulation of baseball. All new 3D gameplay featuring motion-captured polygonal players and sizzling on-the-field action. Fully licensed with Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Player Association, giving you all of the 1998 teams and players. Custom league and schedule generator. Sets the number of games played and division limits. Extensive stat tracking in over 100 categories for single game, full season, and entire careers. That was another thing that drew me to this game. The fact that it had career mode. I think it was one of the first baseball titles on the PlayStation to have it, if not the first. And multiple seasons is what it was advertised in the previews, and I think that immediately drew me to this game, because for the PlayStation, for the computer, for the PC, games like Front Page Sports Baseball had already come out, and I remember playing those and loving the career modes, and this was one of, if not the first, PlayStation 1 game, baseball-wise, that had that ability where you can play multiple seasons. And it would keep track of statistics for your whole career. Deepest simulation featuring minor league system, free agents, trading, active and disabled lists. That was another thing. There was very rarely was there a game, I think at the time for the PlayStation, that had this much in-depth. There was no, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, but like Sony's MLB Pennant Race at the time, EA's Triple Play Series, there was no disabled list. There were no minor league teams. This had that. All 30 major league stadiums, including Arizona and Tampa Bay. So it says in-your-face 3D action. Hardball 99 brings the heat, and take on the all-time team from Accolade. So again, this was a great, great game. It was a great game in theory. I don't think it was that great of a game. And graphically, the finished product was nothing like the previews and magazines showed. But nonetheless, I bought it. And so since I bought it as a kid, I have to recollect it now. All of these games that I'm showing you, I had already once before. And in 2020, I had to sell my entire collection for multiple reasons. And when I started recollecting games, I said, okay, instead of doing what I did, which is originally collect everything I had as a kid, and then just try to collect every sports game ever for every system, and then try to collect every, I would have 80 subgenres of games I needed to collect for because I had to. I decided I would only collect certain mascot games as growing up, certain series like God of War, Assassin's Creed, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Kingdom Hearts, that sort of stuff. And then I would collect Tetris, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy, and that was it. And I would not collect games that I had as a kid because I could just buy an Android box and have all those games already listed or on there if I wanted to play them. But as I started thinking it over and over and over, I said, you know what, let's just grab them. Let's just get it done. And so this is primarily what you're going to see here. Now, there are some games that I needed to get because I was missing them from a collection. Like if I have a game for the Switch, I need it for the PS4 and so forth, and vice versa. But majority of the games you're going to see are games that I had growing up that I swore I'd never collect again, but I broke my own promise. So next up we have Hot Shots Golf. Game Informer said this game is a blast, and it was. It was a very fun mini golf game. Or not even mini golf, excuse me. It was a regular golf game, but it had, you know, wacky characters. It was simulation, but with wacky characters, and it was a great golf game. It was fun. It was fast paced. Didn't take forever. Oh no, it is miniature golf. I was right. Or maybe they have miniature golf as a side mode. Maybe that's what I remember. But the experts agree Hot Shots Golf is not only a blast to play, it's quick and easy to learn with seamless loading and awesome graphics. And Paul Johnson from Sport Magazine said the best looking and most fun playing golf game of all time. And I agree with his assessment. Graphically, it was great. It did load pretty quickly. It was a fast-paced game. It didn't take you 100 years to play it. Dave Stevens from ESPN said, the graphics are so vivid it's like watching golf on TV. Mike Stinton from the Golf Channel said, playing Hot Shots Golf is like being on the golf course with its great golf engine. This game is so much fun to play. GamePro Magazine said, easily the best looking courses in PlayStation Golf, phenomenally fast loading times and intuitive controls. So, catch shots from multiple angles, 6 fantastic courses, 10 unique characters, 18 holes of miniature golf, and all the classic game modes plus 7 ways to bet your buddies. So we'll put that together. Okay. Next up, we have Jet Moto. This was Sony's answer to Nintendo's Nintendo's Wave Race, Jet Moto. And this was a very fun game. I remember getting my PlayStation the first time I ever got my PlayStation, and I think I had a demo of this, and I really wanted to play it, and so I bought this game. Brutal all-terrain racing. So, next generation motocross on 10 bone-crushing outdoor tracks. Catch big air over land, sea, ice, and snow. Gut-wrenching 3D tracks. Race muddy swamps, icy downhills, and choppy seas. Stomach 200-foot drops, broken freeways, switchbacks, and suicide tracks. Fight 20 riders through championship, rally, and elimination races. True physics 3D design. Feel it, fear it, ride it. Then it shows you 2-player mode. Powerful air bikes. Harness a wild air bike that can buck, fly, surf, flip, and spin at top speeds. Lasso tight turns with a grappling hook. Master 20 unique riders on light and heavy bikes. So we have Jet Moto from Sony. Okay. Next up, we have its sequel. We have Jet Moto 2 from Sony as well. This took the first game and just graphically was so much better in every aspect of the game. It was just a much better, fluid game. 3D racing like never before. Extreme all-terrain racing on 10 treacherous new tracks. Master new obstacles, catch more air, and perform challenging stunts in the most intense racing experience ever. 10 new unrelenting tracks. Race through canyons, national parks, roller coasters, and more. New obstacles to conquer, corkscrews, waterfalls, volcanoes, and bottomless pits, 1 and 2 player racing, both horizontal and vertical split screen racing, improved polygonal graphics, and then it shows you 2 player racing. Yeah, this was just an updated version of Jet Moto, just a much better version of it. Knew everything, graphics were better. And there was a Jet Moto 3. I never played it because at the time when it came out, I had already bought a PlayStation 2 and then an original Xbox. So actually I was playing Xbox before I bought a PlayStation 2. So when Jet Moto 3 came out, either I just didn't care at that time or I was already on to the next generation of games. So there's that. That's why I never had Jet Moto 3. But to give you an example, when I went on my mad quest to collect everything, I said to myself, okay, well, I have the first 2 games. I might as well buy the third. And so that was added on to the collecting business. Next up, we have, hopefully this sticker comes off, and it does, good, Moto Racer from EA. And hang on, lean your superbike into corners at blurring speed, power slide your dirt bike and get massive air off the jumps, push it to the red line in a fast 3D environment that will blow you away. 2 types of racing, superbike, kick-in turbo boost for power wheelies, and motocross, big air, sick tricks, and aggro power slides. 10 exotic tracks, race through canyons, cities, even the Great Wall. 2-player mode, duel for bragging rights on the split screen. 3 modes of play, time attack, single race, and championship modes. So we have Moto Racer. Alright. Now, next up we have a sports game from Sony. And there was a time, back in the day, where Sony just didn't create baseball games. They created hockey games, they created football, and they also created basketball. And at the time, there was no 2K. It was only EA's NBA Live series and Sony's version of their basketball game, which I will show you right now. Now, at the time I had both. I had Live and I also had this game. And one of the reasons I got this game also, normally I would only stick to one of the sports games, was because graphically this was a lot better than the NBA Live game. This is NBA Shootout 98 with Hakeem Olajuwon on the cover. I think they had just won the NBA championship because Michael Jordan had retired. And so I believe Houston had won the championship because Jordan had retired from the Eastern Conference. He had gone to play baseball. Could be wrong. I might have the years mixed up. But anyway, unbelievable graphics, and for the time that was true. A new 3D motion-blended polygonal player model, NBA no-look overhead off the dribble around the back, and fake around the back passes, crossover between the legs and double between the legs dribbling, alley-oops, reverse spin, and hook shots. Advanced NBA gameplay, updated icon passing and icon cutting, call for cutter, set screens, and run the break like the pros. New offensive and defensive plays. Gary Payton plays Incredible D. Dennis Rodman clears the boards. Charles Barkley is a force. Shaquille O'Neal brings down the house. And John Stockton dishes the rock. 30 signature dunks. Kobe Bryant's between the legs dunk, tomahawk, 1- and 2-handed 360s, double pump, and one-handed power dunks. no-look peekaboo dunk, forward and reverse cradle dunks, reverse hang and two-hand follow-up dunks, 180 double pump, the scissor, and one-hand hang dunk. 29 NBA teams plus all-star teams, exhibition tournament 1997-98 NBA season, playoffs, the NBA Finals, and the NBA All-Star Game, trade, release, and create players, participate in the draft, full team player and league leader stat tracking. So, Shootout 98. And this was probably the last good basketball game Sony ever made. It seemed that in 1999, which is really 1998, because remember, sports games were always a year, the game was a year ahead of the actual year it came out. Starting with 1999 Sony games, meaning the basketball and football specifically, the games got terrible. This was the last good year. Next up from EA, we had NCAA Football 99. Desire and pride equal victory, the road to the national championship. So you have powerhouse 3D polygon graphics, big rivalries, big hits, juke, pump, swim, and more, on-demand play diagrams, game features, which we'll get into, and then design your own plays. So Tostitos, Fiesta, Nokia Sugar, FedEx Orange, and Rose Bowl, 112 Division 1A teams with 98 rosters, Dynasty mode with expanded recruiting, new analog running and passing, create players and edit names, great games, 80 historical teams, new trajectory, control kicking, and over 60 fight songs and team chants. Now, Sony had their own version, NCAA Game Breaker, but EA's college football was head and shoulders above anything that anybody else created. And even recently, 10 years ago, when Madden was, people were getting fed up with how repetitive Madden was, and it was supposed to change with new systems coming out and everything else, and the game looked like it had for 20 years. EA's college football game always was in good shape. And there's, obviously, if you follow video games and sports video games, next year EA is finally bringing back college football. It'll be College Football 24, and because of the NIL, all the college players will have their names and likenesses inside the game. It'll be the first any sport game to have everybody's likeness in the game. So now, going again back to the 98 season, if you will, this is the last good football game Sony pulled out. And when this came out, it almost, if not did, it was close to overselling Madden. Because Madden 98 still had sprite graphics. Sony surprised everybody with this release. And it was the first polygon football game of all time, at least on a home console. So here's what it looked like. And people, when they saw this, they were so blown away. And all they wanted to do was play this because it was the fancier, prettier game. They didn't want to play Madden sprite graphics anymore. So the ultimate graphics, new 3D polygonal players, and motion capture and animation create unbelievable graphics. Players tightrope the sidelines, high step, lower the shoulder, juke, stiff arm, dive over the pile, high point the ball, use swim moves, forearm shivers, and celebrate with 20 different TD dances. Most advanced gameplay. Lead or underthrow receivers with total control passing, advanced artificial intelligence as players learning your tendencies and executing zone blitzes, stunts, and traps to shut down your attack. Designed by all-pro NFL players. Over 500 offensive and defensive plays designed by all-pro NFL players. Current NFL formations and plays used by NFL teams. Authentic player performance. Over 1,500 NFL players who perform to their abilities. Ricky Waters' high steps, Barry Sanders' spins and jukes, Chris Carter has hands of glue, Chad Brown is all over the field, Jerome Bettis loaders his shoulder, and Marino throws BBs. Pro Bowl and past Super Bowl teams. All 30 NFL teams plus all past Super Bowl teams and all-time squads. Play a preseason game, the 1997-1998 NFL season, Super Bowl, and the Pro Bowl. Loaded with features. Full team, player and league leader stat tracking, trade, release, or create players, or participate in a 6-round draft. So again, this was the game of the year for sports. It was the first football game on a home console to have polygons in it. It blew away EA's Madden, and then the following year, Madden 99 came out, and everybody went back to Madden for a couple of reasons. One, Madden was now polygonal, and two, Game Day 99 was a pile of crap. And when people saw Sony's follow-up to this, they swore off Game Day for good, pretty much. Next up, we have Sony's Blitz killer, if you will, NFL Extreme from 989 Sports. After the coin toss, anything goes. We got Mike Alstott on the cover here. From the makers of NFL Game Day. The other thing that you noticed in 1999 and onward is Sony's player models changed. This is what they looked like in 98. In 99, they just looked weirder. They didn't look real. They looked just like mannequins and deformed players. It was a strange graphical change, but anyway. Revolutionary 5-on-5 gameplay. Arcade-style gameplay means the most intense, in-your-face NFL action with no rules or penalties. Everyone is eligible and there is no out of bounds. A wide-open field means tons of brutal tackles and big scoring plays. An addicting and wildly entertaining video game. Unbelievable graphics. A state-of-the-art player model recreates the real NFL player in unprecedented three-dimensional detail. Players like Mike Alstott and Junior Seau have huge muscle-toned legs and arms, while Napoleon Kaufman and Deion Sanders are slender and lightning quick. All 30 NFL teams, stadiums, and players are reproduced with the most advanced NFL video game graphics ever to grace a television. Adrenaline-pumping experience. Heart-stopping animations including high flying clothesline and helmet-popping sticks. Perform jump flips to avoid tackles, spin out and drag tacklers into the end zone, high step down the sideline, and bull over defenders. See ball carriers reach for the first down while being tackled, and players struggle to stand upright after huge hits. TD dances, late hits, and taunting. Trash talk your opponent after a pancake hit. Flex to the fans after a huge QB sack. Late hit your opponent and celebrate with 50-plus in-your-face celebrations. See Sackmaster Neil Smith's home run swing, Derek Thomas's raises the roof, and Shannon Sharp's Hulk flex. So, this year in 1999, Sony also changed their name to the sports division to 989 Sports. So, Game Day 99 and onward, games were made from by 989 Sports. Not Sony itself. It was still a Sony company, part of Sony, but they changed the studio name, changed to 989. Alright. Next up we have a really, in my opinion, underrated adventure hack and slash game. It's from Eidos, makers of Tomb Raider. When this game came out, it did not get good reviews. I think Game Informer ended up giving it a 6.5 out of 10. But I thought it was a lot better than the score. And here it is. It is Ninja Shadow of Darkness from Eidos, from the creators of Tomb Raider. So, the creators of Tomb Raider and Fighting Force bring you Ninja Shadow of Darkness. Enter the mystical world of Kurosawa, the young ninja, as he fights his way through 11 levels of puzzles, baddies, and bosses, with dozens of fighting moves, weapons, and magic spells in this third-person action arcade game from Eidos Interactive. Dozens of fighting moves plus special magic attacks, each more powerful than the next. More baddies and bosses than ever, including numerous dragons, demons, goblins, and a host of other monsters. 10 unique environments, including forests, beaches, mountains, and demon lairs. Developed by Core Design, the creators of Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, and Fighting Force. So official PlayStation Magazine said, Ninja stands out of the pack, incredible special effects. PS Extreme says, another hit for Eidos. Ninja's graphical presentation is top-notch. And EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, said, Ninja is something quite distinctive. I believed it was a really good game. Was it a masterpiece? No. But was it worth the money, in my opinion? Absolutely. So we're going to put Ninja in our collection here. Okay, next up we have another racing game from Electronic Arts. And here it is. It is Sledstorm. Insane Snowmobile Racing. A new racing challenge. More than 40 insane tracks and combos. 14 tracks through hazardous terrain. Race open mountain and snowcross circuits. Upgrade and customized sleds, excuse me. 2 to 4 way multiplayer action. Slammin' sounds of Rob Zombie, Ecoline Crush, Uber Zone, Easy Rollers, Dom and Roland, and more. Super Snowcross, Big Air, Extreme Environments, multiplayer, and 6 characters. And I don't know if the website's still up, but sledstorm.com is where you could have gone to find out more. So we'll throw this in here. Next up, we have a game that EA tried to compete in the skateboarding genre because Tony Hawk was all the rage, and EA came out with their own version called Street Skater. Was it a Tony Hawk type of game? Not even close, but this is what you got. Grind sick handrails in the street or grab huge air in the pipe. Real action. Over 200 moves and trick combinations. Half pipe, bowl, big air, and street events. Real boards. Original deck graphics from Powell Skateboards. And real bands. Slammin' soundtrack features Less Than Jake, Plastilina Mosh, Weston, H2O, All, Straight-Faced, The Piesters, and Eye Against Eye and Gasshuffer. I can't read the writing here, and I've heard of Less Than Jake, but the rest of the bands I don't think I've ever heard of. Anyway, that was their, and they made a sequel, Street Skater 2. I never had it as a kid, didn't care for it, and I might have played this game for 10 hours and put it away, so. But we must add it to the collection, because after all, I collect video games, and among other things, so that's the point of this channel. And hopefully you're being relaxed as we go through memory lane here. Next up, I am not a fan of these kinds of games, but this one caught my eye, and I said, you know what, I'll try it. I got to about level 4. I got to the boss where he runs around with I want to say almost like a jetpack, and he's shooting fire at you through like a flamethrower, and I could never defeat him. Then I gave up. But Siphon Filter is the name of the game. And SCEA Studios, again, changed their name to 989. So you had a 989 Studios that made non-sports titles, and then you had 989 Sports that made sports titles. But this game was very good, got great reviews, and it was Sony's answers to Konami's Metal Gear Solid. So, directive, eliminate the Siphon Filter virus. Markinson says, intelligence has confirmed the development of biowarfare weapons. Gabe, you are our only chance to destroy the Siphon Filter virus. You've been cleared to use lethal force to complete your directives. So, Gabe Logan, operative profile classified, education, MA degree, biochemistry, Rockefeller Institute, BS degree, biology and chemistry at MIT, guerrilla warfare expert, counterterrorism, special reconnaissance, direct assault, and stealth expert, combat weaponry specialist, silenced 9mm handgun, night vision rifle, M16 assault rifle, sniper rifle, taser, M79 grenade launcher, and more. Navigational expert, 13 real-world open 360-degree environments, and Master Marksman. Proficient in 4 targeting modes. Ability to keep enemies in target while kneeling, crouching, strafing, walking, rolling, climbing, jumping, and running. So, Siphon Filter. And there have been many, many sequels to this game. I believe the first 3 came out on this system, and then there were PSP and PS2 games. I think it ended there. I think Sony stopped after the PS2 and PSP came out. There were none for the PS3, if I recall. Alright, next up is another this I would call a diamond in the rough. This game was from Activision and DreamWorks Interactive, and it was another beat-em-up, but it was a very interesting one. And I loved it. I loved playing through it. I had so much fun as a kid. And when I say kid, I was probably 13, but here it is. It is Typhus, Wrath of the Tiger. This game is very good. If you have a PlayStation, I recommend playing it, or buying it, or whatever. Sink your claws into Kung Fu action. Authentic Kung Fu action. Send them flying with moves like the Leopard Pounce and the Monkey Roll. 20 beautifully animated levels. Strut through sweeping rivers and bamboo forests on your Dragon Master. Legendary animal clans. Take on foes inspired by Chinese legend, from muscle-bound snakes to ferocious wild boar. Over 75 character moves. Unleash your tiger attacks and chi power. Then finish them off with thrashing claws and razor-sharp teeth. Basically, in this game, you would go from level to level, and you would meet different martial arts masters that were obviously animals, and they would teach you their style of Kung Fu, and you'd just add those moves to your repertoire on your journey to beat the game. And I had so much fun playing this game. A very good game. I don't think anybody talks about it. Alright, next up, a classic from Activision. We have Tenchu Stealth Assassins. Live by honor, kill by stealth. Prowl and strike with lethal precision as ninja assassins Rikamaru or Ayami in the shadowy world of feudal Japan. Armed with mystical weapons and sheer cunning, you must shed blood with discretion and move without detection, for only the unseen survive. So, Ultra Game Player says, the solid control, incredible graphics, and unique gameplay experience make Tenchu one of the sleeper games of the year. Sleeper games this year, and then PSM Magazine, Tenchu is one title that Ninja fans can't miss. So, you have stealth fighting tactics, authentic ninja weapons, and go anywhere 3D environments. For the stealth fighting tactics, it says, master dozens of motion captured ninja moves as you disembowel fearsome samurai, wild beasts, and evil demons. Assassinate incredibly cunning enemies before they see you coming, and attain victory by being an invisible shadow warrior. Authentic ninja weapons. Wield 20 stunning death-dealing devices, including throwing stars, grappling hooks, caltrops, grenades, poison, and magic spells. Unleash long-range attacks with a unique first-person targeting system. And then stalk the towns, temples, forests, caves, and dungeons of 16th century Japan in 10 deadly missions. A user-controllable camera helps you climb trees, wade through rivers, and creep along rooftops to avoid detection. So there you go, Tenchu. Okay, next up we have 3 baseball games from EA, and I remember seeing previews for this game in Game Informer magazine. Graphically it looked incredible, and it was, for the time, Triple Play 98 with, I don't know who this could be on the cover. I don't think it's Pujols. I don't think he was in the league yet. I don't know. The ultimate judge of baseball competition. So Compete as a rookie, pro, or all-star. Signature pitching and batting styles. Over 5,000 frames of animation. New real-time 3D technology. New first-ever two-man booth. Play-by-play and color commentary. New TV-style presentation. Over 20 camera views. New motion-captured polygon players and new smarter players. MLB and MLBPA license. 6 ways to play. Exhibition, season, series, home run derby, all-star, and practice modes. Improved AI and strategy, new deeper stats, over 50 stats tracked, new expansion teams and drafts, new interleague play, 1997 team rosters with 1996 stats, arcade and simulation gameplay plus 3 difficulty levels, all 30 MLB stadiums, and trade and create players. So there's 98. Next up, we have the sequel with Alex Rodriguez on the cover. Bonus points if you know what team he played for that year. It was not the New York Yankees. We have Triple Play 99. He was on the Mariners. That's who he got drafted by. Real Baseball All Highlights. Over 700 MLB players, all 30 MLB stadiums, control signature moves, TV-style action cams, the game features we'll get to, and bigger everything. So, play in season, all-star, home run derby, tournament, and 2 other modes. Immersive first-person batting, career mode, so I was wrong. Hardball may have come out first, maybe. Hardball 99, and they had career mode, but so did Triple Play 99. So I was incorrect with being it the only game that year that had it. Fantasy draft, 2-person play-by-play, 1,300 categories of stats, 1998 schedule and rosters. However, the Hardball 99 still is the only game at this point that has a minor league system and disabled lists. So, did not have that in this game, I do not believe. It doesn't say that, so I'm going to imagine that it did not. To this day, the best baseball game I have ever played was for the computer. It was High Heat Baseball 2002 for the PC. Unbelievable game. Next up, the sequel with Sammy Sosa, Triple Play 2000. This is Power Baseball. More control, more action, and more power. Game features head-to-head home run challenge, multi-season play, that's career mode, and full fantasy draft. New camera angles, see the action, make the plays, create, trade, sign, and release players. So you have real emotion, aggressive gameplay, monster home runs, and precision batting. There you go, Triple Play 2000. Next up, we have a game from VR Sports, and I have the 99 version. I thought I had this, but I don't, so I bought it. VR Baseball 97. Digital Diner gave it a 9 out of 10. PSX says a real contender for Baseball Game of the Year. This is from VR Sports. The only real-time 360-degree 3D baseball game. So here we go. VR Baseball 97. Imagine being able to play Major League Baseball from any position or angle you choose, or as your favorite Major League player. Now you can. VR Baseball 97 is the first game that lets you play in a real-time 360-degree world with 28 realistic 3D Major League Baseball stadiums and 700 lifelike polygon players that move smoother than sprites. VR Sports virtual field vision technology creates an immersive, ultra-realistic gaming environment that lets you view and play the game from any perspective. You can even play from the ball's view, if you don't mind getting knocked around. From the first pitch to the last out, it's baseball at its best. So state-of-the-art physics model creates true ball flight, bounce, and roll, as well as realistic ball rotation for accurate pitch simulation. Updated stats, uniform styles, team logos, and new stadiums, including Atlanta, Anaheim, and Oakland for 1997. Season play mode with fast season simulator with full stats, top 10 summaries, and an all-star voting all-star game simulation. Simple batting and pitching interfaces with instant access to pitch selection, speed and control without menus, plus simultaneous batter and base runner control. 3 skill levels, 4 uniform choices per team, 4 play options, and more. You can check out VR Sports at www.vrsports.com for demos, tips, and more. So this was this. And I also had VR Sports Baseball 99. I already have that. But for some reason I did not have this. And I had it as a kid, so I found it odd that I had the 99 but not 97, so we picked it up. Alright, we are almost done with the PS1 section here. Got a few games to go. First up, now this is not the first game that come out. This is the sequel, but I have this in alphabetical order. So I'm going to show them both at the same time. There's actually 3 of these. The first one to come out was WWF Warzone with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover from Acclaim Sports. This game was graphically was unbelievable when it first came out. Secondly, it actually had, if I believe correctly, it had to create a player mode, which was amazing with the amount of customizations you could make. And I don't know if this is the first game to come with the music introductions when the wrestlers would come down the ramp. If it's not this, it's the next one. But anyway, rocks the ring with the fiercest wrestling action ever seen, says GamePro. 4-player action with tag team, tornado, and war modes, specialized matches including steel cage match, signature and finishing moves unique to each wrestler, over 300 motion captured maneuvers, and create and save up to 30 customized wrestlers. The top superstars in the World Wrestling Federation, including Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Kane, Triple H, and many more. Vince McMahon and Jim Ross bring you the action from ringside. Training mode, practice your moves before stepping into the ring. This set the foundation for this. WWF SmackDown from THQ. Oh, this is interesting. What came out first? Oh, I lied. This came out, then this came out from Acclaim. WWF Attitude. GamePro says WWF Attitude has the most features and fiercest gameplay of any wrestling game, now featuring over 40 of your favorite WWF superstars, including Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mankind, The Undertaker, and D-Generation X. Customize your own wrestlers' movesets and costumes. 2-man commentary featuring Shane McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler. First ever create your own pay-per-view mode. Wrestle your way to the title in all-new career mode. Real-life WWF entrances and theme songs. So this was the first game to do it. And then over 20 game modes, including all-new specialty matches. And then THQ got the WWF license and came out with SmackDown. All of the top WWF superstars, largest interactive backstage area ever, most advanced season mode, make decisions affecting rivalries, backstage storylines, and tag teams. Revolutionary, create a superstar, sliding scales, moves, and personality variables. All signature moves, taunts, and mannerisms from elbow to eyebrow. And special guest referee. Insight Video Gaming said the best sports entertainment game to ever hit the PlayStation. And I remember the previews for SmackDown because one thing that caught my eye was the fact that you actually had a story mode, season mode, that kind of thing. And up until that point, all wrestling games ever were just one-on-one matches or single matches like Hell in a Cell or whatever. But after the match was over, that was it. It was like exhibition mode pretty much. And this was one of the first games to allow that. So, no, I shouldn't say allow. First game to have it ever implemented or created within itself. So, all right, we got Attitude. Let's throw that in here. Throw that up top. Attitude. SmackDown would come next. We were down to our final two PlayStation games. If you liked what you've seen so far, helping the channel out would be huge. Just give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe. Next up, we have a dual case game. It doesn't usually would say how many CDs it is. This is a 4-disc game. It was the X-Files. Enter the world of the X-Files. As Field Agent Craig Wilmore, assigned to assist Special Agents Phlox Mulder and Dana Scully in their latest investigation into paranormal activity. Follow a trail of elusive clues, sift through evidence at crime scenes, use a wide range of standard-issue FBI equipment and special tools, conduct interviews with witnesses and suspects, and make critical decisions to solve an all-new X-Files case. If I remember correctly, this was almost like the PC game where it was a point-and-click adventure. For the PlayStation 2, X-Files Resist or Serve was an actual third-person game, but this, I believe, is a point-and-click. Features series stars David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Mitch Pileggi, and other regular cast members. All original footage shot entirely on location from a story created by Chris Carter. Branching multiple plot lines change in response to your actions, behavior, and attitude towards others. So, let's put this in its special case. That is it for that. And our final game for the PlayStation 1 is this. Xena Warrior Princess from EA. Now, there were two Xena games. One came out for the PlayStation, the other for the N64. But they were both different games. This game was an adventure game. The 64 game was a fighting game. Live the adventure. Gaming's newest action heroine debuts in a power-packed adventure based on the hit TV series. Hurl Xena's chakram or unleash powerful signature fighting moves to overcome vicious hordes of enemies and huge bosses. Key features: signature moves and weapons. Guide the long-range chakram or cause damage up close with backflips, bicycle kicks, and 360-degree splits. 7 vast worlds with 21 sublevels. Explore and conquer Valerian's Castle, Amazon Village, Dizen's Lair, and more. Battle epic mystical creatures. Duel with a dragon and go head-to-head with Medusa. Use combinations, magical weapons, and stealth-like maneuvers to take down your enemy. And I remember playing this game, and boy was it terrible. And it was terrible because the controls were so bad. It was almost unplayable. The camera angles were terrible. Controls were terrible. I think at one point, and I could be wrong, but I think years ago I was watching YouTube, somebody play the game, and I just watched it the whole way through just to see what it was like or what happened. Okay, so we have finished our PlayStation 1 games, and that was pretty much the chunk of the collection that we got. Next up, we'll go to the Sega games, and first up, we have Daytona USA from Sega, the arcade smash hit. Arcade power. Daytona USA. Explosive 3D racing, second to none. Sega Saturn's smooth 3D texture map graphics create high-speed, bumper-to-bumper racing. Realistic stock car control with drafting, controlled braking, four-wheel drifts, and skillful acceleration. Punishing end-over-end crashes let you know you blew it. CD-quality sound recreates the engine noise and thunder of real stock cars. 3 challenging tracks demand total control and intense concentration. 4 dynamic driving perspectives. The ultimate driving experience. So, we have Daytona USA. Next up for the Sega Saturn, we have NFL 97 from Sega Sports. You make the call. Features: Play Editor, designed millions of plays, 1996 season rosters, updated NFL statistics, 150 offensive and defensive plays per team, stat tracking in over 70 team and player categories, 1996 official NFL schedule, and create your own team. So this was the Saturn version. Now, the graphics were a little bit updated, but they were still sprite graphics. Really not much difference between the Genesis and Saturn versions. However, Saturn had better music because it was on a CD, and just overall better fluidity, but nothing really spectacular about this game here. Alright, next up for the Sega Saturn from Sega Sports, we have NHL All-Star Hockey. All 26 NHL teams and the real players. I remember playing the hell out of this game, and in the beginning it had a Sega Sports, but it had almost like an ESPN-style broadcast before most games. So, Sega Sports Power Play. Saturn's video motion system graphics ensure all the action and detail of a real game. Over 16 different 3D playing perspectives, including a first-person view and Sega Saturn's own Puck Cam instant replay feature. Exciting live-action sequences include coaching based on your performance in the last period and actual footage from the '94 season. And of course, all the real hockey features you expect from Sega Sports. Multiple checks, power plays, slap shots, home ice advantage, penalties, and more. And it had commentary from Marv Albert. So we have All-Star Hockey. Next up, we have the not-for-resale version of Virtua Cop. This is also from Sega. Virtua Cop. You're a cop, putting your life on the line is your job. Staying alive is your challenge. Split-second decision-making, timing, and lightning-fast reflexes are what it takes in this adrenaline-pumping game of cat and mouse. Dirtbags pop out of virtually every hiding place with their guns aimed, cocked, and ready to shoot you. So, first-person perspective and constantly changing, zooming 3D graphics put you right in the middle of all the heart-pounding action. Hit a hapless hostage and lose your badge. Hesitate and lose your life. It's basically shoot or be shot as dirtbags pop out of virtually everywhere, armed with guns, grenades, and hostages. So, there you go, Virtua Cop. Next up for the Sega Saturn, we have World Series Baseball 2 with Fred McGriff on the cover. Crank It Out. New features. All 28 ballparks in rendered detail, updated MLB stats and rosters, play as the 1998 expansion to Arizona Diamondbacks or Tampa Bay Devil Rays, create your own expansion team roster, 1996 MLB schedule, awesome new camera angles, choose from 8 players to call up from the farm. So you had Hideo Nomo, Albert Bell, Wade Boggs, Mo Vaughn, Brad Radke, Matt Williams, Mike Piazza, Sandy Alomar, or Berto Alomar, excuse me. And then original features, you had all 700 players, all 28 teams, stat tracking in 12 categories, play-by-play announcing, 5 modes of play. You have All-Star, Playoff, Exhibition, Home Run Derby, and Pennant Race. So there you go, World Series Baseball 2. And then our last Sega Saturn game is the following. I believe it's the last one. We have World Series Baseball 98 with Chipper Jones on the cover. Sega exclusive. The most authentic game has bulked up. A new powerful polygonal engine, 1997 teams, rosters, and schedule, play in all 30 ballparks, unique batting stances, play-by-play commentary, stat tracking in 20 sortable categories, pitcher windups, and their arsenal. So it's the real thing. Interleague play, sharp new camera angles, a view from Bank One Ballpark, and superb animation. And that is the last Sega Saturn game of the video. Next up, we're going to go back in time a little bit. We are going to go right to the Sega Genesis. We have a bunch of games to show you for that system. So first up, we have from Flying Edge, Arch Rivals, the arcade game. A real basket brawl. Now this game I remember playing for the first time, the actual arcade game itself. I was at sort of like a YMCA as a kid, and upstairs in one of the big, I don't know, dinner convention rooms or something, they had the arcade game, and I remember playing it. But this was basically the first NBA Jam before NBA Jam became what NBA Jam is. So, Arch Rivals, the arcade game. The real arcade action between the arch rivals is really hot, because tonight there's no fouls. What? No fouls? That's right, no fouls. This is basketball where breaking the rules is part of the rules. If you can't block a shot, knock your opponent's block off. If you can't steal the ball, steal his shorts. Arch Rivals also takes real 8-ball, b-ball skills like passing, shooting, ball handling, slam dunks, and three-point shots. All the in-your-face action and courtside sound effects of the arcade smash. It's not just basketball, it's a basket brawl. So get ready for an all-out basket brawl. Don't miss this halftime show. Choose from outrageous roster of arch rivals, and no fouls, knock your opponent's block off. Arch Rivals. Next up, from Acclaim, we have College Slam. This was the college version of NBA Jam. Welcome to the College Slam Arena. The crowd's on their feet. Over 40 college teams, cheerleaders, fight songs, all the rivalry, all the madness. There's a wild dunk. The backboard shatters. This is the slammingest hoops action ever. And there's more. Head-to-head, tournament, and season-long play. College Slam is going to take you to school. So it shows you shatter the backboard, storm the defense with the whirlwind, slam and dunks and alley-oops. The road ends here. Make lightning strike. Customize and save your players and stats. And up to 16 players, it's tourney time. So you got College Slam. Also from Arena Entertainment, we have in Midway, we have NBA Jam. The Ultimate Arcade Jam comes home. Boom Shakalaka. Shows you, oh my, he's on fire, numbers don't lie, rejected, and kaboom. The Ultimate Arcade Jam comes home. You control the super moves, amazing blocks, and awesome slam dunks of the NBA's hottest stars. Skywalking slams, cannonball, tomahawk, helicopter, and more. Turbo boost for lightning-fast steals and intense rejections. 4-player action with Sega Team Player. Adapter, autostat, saves your records and stats as you strive to the championship. And NBA Jam puts you on the court and above the rim. Featuring 54 NBA stars from all 27 NBA teams. And no, the Celtics are not featured on here. Okay. Next up, we have the sequel to that game from Acclaim and Midway. We have NBA Jam TE Tournament Edition. Monster Jam, same team matchups, new rookie and all-star teams, rocket across the court with the super slam dunk, substitutions after every quarter, and go for the 5-point shot from the hotspot. NBA Jam Tournament Edition brings you more senses-shattering slam dunking excitement than ever. More than twice as many NBA superstars, more than double the secret characters, hotspots, Super Jam power-ups, autostat, backup, and oh my, 9 all-new rim-rattling slam dunks, plus all the original jams. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, it's on fire. And one of the things about this game was you had what are called hotspots, where different parts of the court would light up, and each dot, if you will, when you stood on it, gave you a different point total. So there could be 4-point shots, 8-point shots, that kind of thing. They do feature the Celtics on here, and this has Dominique Wilkins and Dee Brown from back in the day. Next up from the Sega Sports, we have NHL All-Star Hockey 95. NHL All-Star Hockey shoots and scores. All 26 NHL teams, all 650 pro players, an 84-game season, playoffs, and the Stanley Cup Finals. Fast-paced NHL action. All 26 NHL teams, including the Mighty Ducks and Florida Panthers, 1994-95 team rosters and NHL schedule. All the stars are here. Messier, Lemieux, Gretzky, Fedorov, Bourque, Lindros, Roenick, Burr, and Gilmore. Players performing according to ratings in 15 categories like slap shots, speed, stick handling, etc. Marv Albert, voice of the New York Rangers, provides expert color commentary. Battery tracks standings and your favorite team stats all season long. It's all here. Line changes, speed bursts, cross checks, one-timers, instant replays. Here it shows you extra large players with over 1,000 frames of smooth animation, 14 goalies animations alone. Leach and Richter shut down Detroit's high-powered attack. Select manual or automatic goalie control. Sampled sound effects with multiple crushing checks. So NHL All-Star Hockey. Next up from Sega Sports, we have NFL 95. All new, it says. All 28 teams with real NFL players. Rock the competition, all new NFL 95. For the first time ever in a Genesis football game, the field view will change dynamically during the play. As the quarterback drops back to pass, the camera angle will rise, allowing the user to see up to 65 yards downfield. All 28 NFL teams and over 1,500 real players. Irvin, Elway, White, Sanders, Seau, Young, Falk, and the list goes on. Real 94 rosters. You can be the receiver. Be the wide receiver, run your own route, and call for the ball. Complete roster management. Trade players or sign free agents to build a dynasty. Full season play. Multiple schedules, instant replays, 2-point conversions, standings, injuries, playoffs, and Super Bowl action. Player ratings. Individual skill ratings in 13 categories. Single game and season stats. Track league leaders through an entire season. Emmitt Smith uses a speed burst to turn the corner. Jerry Rice finds the seam and calls for the ball. Player pictures highlight stars from each of the 28 NFL teams. Joe Montana spots an open receiver 65 yards downfield. And Dave Winding from sports editor Game Fan Magazine says, the new king of 16-bit football is Sega Sports. NFL 95 blows away the competition. Next up for the Genesis, we have Sega's Sports Talk Baseball. 500 pro players based on 1991 stats. And this says Sports Talk Live Play-by-Play. And I remember this game was really fun to play, and the White Sox were a powerhouse in this game. You played with the White Sox, you wouldn't lose a game. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitcher takes a long look and delivers. The steal is on. The catcher throws to second. Safe. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. This is trouble. Sports Talk Baseball delivers. Non-stop play-by-play announcing pulls you off your seat and into the batter's box. Slug with your bat high like Ruben Sierra or hammer with Cecil Fielder's wide-open stance. Watch Ken Griffey Jr. scramble for shoestring catches. Iron Man Cal Ripken Jr. dives for hard shots in the hole. 500 pro players, 1991 stats. Go to bat with Kirby Puckett, Roger the Rocket Clemens, and Doc Gooden. Sharpen your team with pinch hitters and ace relievers like Dennis Eckersley. Seasons stretch up to 162 games, including pennant race. A bench full of batting styles, searing pitcher control, and Sega Sports Talk hit home with all the big league baseball you can handle. And Canseco's up next. Ready at the plate, the windup, a fastball. He swings. And it's a long drive to deep center. Grand slam. So here it shows you Kirby Puckett, Will Clark, Lenny Dykstra, Julio Franco. Robbie Thompson makes a close play to stop Cecil Fielder. So we have that. Then from Sega Sports, we have World Series Baseball. All 28 teams, all 700 players. Real Major League Baseball. All 28 Major League teams in the new 6-division alignment. All 700 players, including your favorite stars. Many off-season free agent moves and trades are included. Sports Talk, new improved play-by-play commentary. All-star features, home run derby, batting practice, 13, 26, 52, or 162 game league play. Battery backup keeps full statistics. New in the batter's box view. It shows you John Olerud, Kirby Puckett, Mark Langston, Roger McDowell, Tony Gwynn, Darren Dalton, John Burkett, and Tom Glavine. And then the teams it just highlights are the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Orioles, the White Sox, the Phillies, the Giants, the Braves, and the Rockies. No Red Sox for this guy. Next up, we have World Series Baseball 95. New 6-division alignment. And this is sealed, by the way. I don't know if you can see the seal here, but it is factory sealed. World Series Baseball 95 play ball. Baseball is it's bigger. World Series 95 steps up to the plate with 24 megs of power. Check out the new features added to already the best baseball game of all time. So the best just got better. All the stats, all the stadiums, incredible animation. World Series 95 has it all, says Dave Windling, Game Fan Magazine from 1994. All new in the batter's box view. Check out this diving catch. Real Major League Baseball schedule for all 28 teams. Climb the Green Monster to make the catch at Fenway. So, all new lineup. All 28 stadiums fully reproduced, including new ballparks in Colorado, Cleveland, and Texas. 700 Major League players, all 28 Major League teams. Draft and trade players to gather all your favorite stars for teams that's unstoppable. American League and National League teams of all-time great players, including Lou Gehrig, Dizzy Dean, and Ty Cobb. Multiplayer leagues, several friends can all be in a league together. Mid-season all-star game based on player performance from your season. Large battery saves complete individual, team, and league leader statistics. So this is a sealed copy of World Series 95. And then lastly for the Sega Genesis we have, with David Justice on the cover, World Series Baseball 96. Excuse me, this is Manny Ramirez on the cover, not Dave Justice. I think Dave Justice was on World Series 98, if I recall. That was Manny Ramirez. So, World Series Baseball 96, step up to the plate. So the new features, new rosters and stats, updated from 1995 MLB season. League mode, 5 different season lengths, 13, 26, 52, 104, or 162. Schedule, features the current 1996 MLB season. Postseason awards, league leaders, 5 offensive and 4 pitching categories. The original features, all 700 players, all 28 teams and stadiums, draft and trade players, all-star game, in the batter's box view, and home run derby. So that takes care of our Genesis games. Next, we are going to go to the Nintendo Switch. So first up, we have a sealed copy of Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. And a bonus game that's included is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation Remastered. This was a situation where you got a download code to download it to your Switch. Enhanced graphics, Ignite the Revolution, includes all original solo DLC, and that's pretty much the drill. So let's find a Nintendo Switch case and let's put it in. Next up for the Nintendo Switch, we have Dragon's Lair Trilogy. Sealed copy from Limited Run. You have Dragon's Lair. Control the actions of the valiant adventurer Dirk the Daring, finding your way through the castle of a dark wizard who has enchanted it with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the Dragon's Lair. Lead on, adventurer, your quest awaits. Space Ace, Commander Borf plans to reduce all of humankind to infants and take over the planet. Only 2 people have the courage and strength to stop Borf and save the Earth, the beautiful Kimberly and the heroic Ace. But as they approach Borf's stronghold, Ace is hit by the Infanto Ray, changing him into a child, and Kimberly is kidnapped by the evil madman. The fate of Earth is in your hands. And then also Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp. Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp once again has you leading Dirk on a perilous quest. Spirited away to a wrinkle in time by the evil wizard Mordrock, Princess Daphne will be forced to marry the wicked Mordrock unless Dirk can save her. Once the casket of doom is opened, Mordroc will place the death ring upon Daphne's finger in marriage, and she will be lost forever in the time warp. So let's throw this in. Next, for the Nintendo Switch, this is another downloadable game. No game cartridge inside. A sealed copy of L.A. Noire from Rockstar. A dark and violent crime thriller set against the backdrop of 1940s Los Angeles. Amid the post-war boom of Hollywood's golden age, newly minted detective Cole Phelps embarks on a desperate search for truth in a city where everyone has something to hide. Utilizing revolutionary facial animation technology, L.A. Noire blends the breathtaking action of of chases and shootouts with true detective work, including interrogations and clue finding for an unprecedented interactive experience. Enhanced specifically for Switch, including a Joy-Con mode with gyroscopic gesture-based controls, HD rumble, and contextual touchscreen controls for portable detective work. Includes the complete original game, all additional downloadable content, plus new collectibles and detective suits to unlock, each with unique special abilities. So, I have this game many times. I have it originally came out for the PS3, and I have a PS4 remake, and now the Switch version of the game. Next up, sealed for the Nintendo Switch, we have, this thing's got to work here. Hold on one moment. Yes, this is not cooperating here. Alright, well. Alright, well, I'll have to do for now. We have Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. It looks like another, it has the game card for Mega Man Legacy Collection, but a download code for the second one. Again, sealed. So 10 Mega Classics. Mega Man Legacy Collection has Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, Mega Man 6. And Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 has Mega Man 7, Mega Man 8, Mega Man 9, and Mega Man 10. Additional features, both collections include exciting challenge modes, online leaderboards, a Mega Man history museum featuring colorful concept art, and more. This is obviously from Capcom. So we will put this in its case. Alright, next up for the Switch, we have a sealed copy of Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition. Includes all DLC and exclusive teams and arenas. If the fields don't kill you, the players will. Mutants and monsters unleash maniacal carnage on the gridiron in this action-packed arcade-style football game, Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition. Delivers online multiplayer action, big hits, deep strategy, and deadly humor. Just kill it. So you have Wham Neutron, supposed to be Cam Newton, I believe. O'Neal Wrexham, which would be Odell Beckham. Von Killer, which would be Von Miller. Bomb Shady, Tom Brady, I believe. Slay Worthspew, Clay Matthews is my best guess. Despawn Rotsam would be Deshaun Watson. And Throb Gronkowski, which obviously would be Ron Gronkowski. Online play, multiplayer, Dynasty franchise, full season, 25 teams, and dirty tricks. So, let us find our Switch. There they are, right here. Okay. Next up, sealed for the Nintendo Switch, we have Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection Volume 1. So, relive the 10 classic games that define the Neo Geo Pocket Color. The Dream Collection is finally here. View 3D models of the games in their cartridges, zoom in and take a look around. Take on a friend in either tabletop or handheld modes, not available for some titles. So the title lineup, you have SNK Gals Fighters, Samurai Showdown 2, King of Fighters R2, The Last Blade Beyond the Destiny, Fatal Fury First Contact, SNK vs. Capcom The Match of the Millennium, Metal Slug First Mission, Metal Slug Second Mission, Dark Arms Beast Buster 1998 and 1999, and Big Tournament Golf. So those are the 10 games on the list. This says pre-owned, but it's sealed to me. So it looks sealed to me. It doesn't look opened. So we'll go with sealed on this one. Unless they resealed it, but I don't think they did. Alright. Next up for the Switch, sealed, we have SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. Return to the golden age of arcade gaming. Enjoy some of SNK's finest classics in 1080p, from Crystalis to Ikari Warriors. Rewind and save lets you pick up from anywhere at any time. Travel through time and relive the history of SNK with high-def artwork and promo assets. So that is that game. Next up, sealed for the Nintendo Switch, we have South Park: The Fractured But Whole from Ubisoft. Coon and Friends Assemble. This was Game Informer said Best in Show 2016 role-playing. IGN said Best RPG of E3 2017. From the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, a dark shadow has spread across South Park, a new power is rising, and this time an entire squad of superheroes must stand. Create your own superhero and use your incredible abilities to save the town. Develop your mysterious superhero backstory, fight epic battles with a new combat system, recruit other heroes as your buddies. Now, the final two games I have for the Switch are both sealed, and apparently they're PAL releases, meaning they were released in Europe, not here in the States. And if that's truly the case, I'm going to try to sell them. I'm not going to keep them. But here's what they are. They are Turrican Anthology Volume 1 and Turrican Anthology Volume 2 from Strictly Limited Games. Here we have copy number 443 of 3500 and copy number 397 of 3500. So the legendary Turrican is back. In Turrican Anthology Volume 1, you have Turrican, Turrican 2, Super Turrican Director's Cut, and Mega Turrican Score Attack. And then in Turrican Anthology Volume 2, you have Turrican 3, Mega Turrican Director's Cut, Super Turrican 2, and Super Turrican Score Attack. So I'm going to put these to the side here. I'm not going to put them in cases yet because I have to do more research. And then lastly, for home consoles, we now have PlayStation 4 games. So first up, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, the Deluxe Edition. It includes a game and additional content. This is another variation that I was missing. It's the final one. Over 50 E3 awards and nominations from Ubisoft. The origin story of the Assassins. Experience all new combat as you level up and master powerful weapons to take down epic enemies. Quest system delivers a new story every time you play. Start at the beginning and uncover the origin story of the Assassin's Brotherhood. Discover the mysteries of ancient Egypt. The Great Pyramids, Lost Tombs, Mummies, and the Gods. Bonus pre-order mission, Secrets of the First Pyramids, and deluxe content. You have the Naval Mission, Ambush at Sea, and the Desert Cobra Pack. Now, this game is one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games because the DLC content was extremely fun, and you had to face Egyptian gods as bosses, which was so fun to play against. So I love this Assassin's Creed title. Next up, for the PlayStation 4 sealed, we have God of War Ragnarok, with the PS5 upgrade available. As you all know, I have the God of War Ragnarok for the PS5, not only the game and the collector's edition, but I have the console as well, with the God of War advertisement on the PS5 box. But the PS4 version of the game, it's PS4 Pro Enhanced, and it's on 2 discs, which is interesting. I did not know that. Embark on an epic and heartfelt journey as Kratos and Atreus struggle with holding on and letting go. Against a backdrop of Norse realms torn asunder, witness the changing dynamic of the father-son relationship as they prepare for war. So God of War Ragnarok. Next up, this finally released for the PS4. The Switch version is coming later this year, I believe in November. But I have, now obviously I have the collector's edition for the PS5, but I have Hogwarts Legacy from Portkey Games and Warner Brothers here, internet required. Live the Unwritten. Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive, open-world action RPG set in the world first introduced in the Harry Potter books. Now you can take control of the action and be at the center of your own adventure in the Wizarding World. Your legacy is what you make of it. So here it says, explore an open world. The Wizarding World awaits you. Freely roam Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, the Forbidden Forest, and the surrounding overland area. Be the witch or wizard you want to be. Learn spells, brew potions, grow plants, and tend to magical beasts along your journey. Experience a new Wizarding World adventure. Experience the Wizarding World in an unexplored era to uncover a hidden truth from its past. So there you are. Hogwarts Legacy. Now, next up, this is interesting. I have a game that I pre-ordered and crowdfunded years ago. Came out a few years ago, I would say 2020. But it is Shenmue 3. Now, I have the game already. I have a limited run version. But this version apparently came with this steelbook, which I do not have. So now I have the steelbook Shenmue 3 here, along with the game. The legendary story continues. Journey into rural China as you take on the role of Ryu Hazuki, a Japanese teenager hell-bent on finding his father's killer. A story of adventure, mystery, friendship, martial arts, and ultimately revenge. Upgrade Ryu Hazuki's fighting skills in order to defeat the toughest foes. Explore a gorgeous, charm-laden, and danger-filled China. Vibrant, related with all manner of villagers, shopkeepers, villains, and heroes. So we have this, the Shenmue 3 game sealed, and the steelbook, which is also sealed. And then, I want to make sure I can fit all this in. Why is this not cooperating? Let's see here. There we go. Let me see if this steelbook fits in this case. Yep, it does. Good for me. Okay. Got that now. And now we have this. We have... I'll zoom out a little bit for this one. The collector's edition of Shenmue 3 from EaseNet and Deep Silver. So the legendary story continues. Journey deep into rural China as you take on the role of Ryu Hazuki, a Japanese teenager hell-bent on finding his father's killer. A story of adventure, mystery, friendship, martial arts, and ultimately revenge. We've already gone through this before, but the collector's edition includes a game, copy of the game, stickers, classic iconography from the game, a mirror, double-sided Phoenix Dragon mirror, patches, iron-on authentic designs from the series, commemorative Dreamcast case with reversible cover, and Lightbox, shoji door-style desk lamp. Requires 3 AAA batteries to operate, not included. And this is 4,915 out of 5,000 total that were made. And this is sealed. So we have the Shenmue 3 Collector's Edition. And then the final 2 PlayStation 4 games in our collection is the sealed copy of the dual pack, Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Original 6 games remastered from Activision, a Spyro and Crash game bundle. So the original 6 games fully remastered. We have Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, and then Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon. We have Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and then Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. So we have that. And then finally, for the PlayStation 4, we have a sealed copy of Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove. Your favorite aliens are back for a new funky adventure. You have couch and online co-op, New Wild Presents and Crazy Earthlings, 9 playable characters, and grab a homie and play a new gig every time. Limited run. This is number 243 that they produced. And then the final 2 games of this massive pickup video are little handheld games. I thought I had finished collecting all the sports games that Radio Shack had ever put out, and lo and behold, I'm browsing through Facebook or Mercari one day, I forget which, it was probably Mercari, and I found a game I did not have from Radio Shack. And it is called, this is a sealed copy, Sports Clips Hockey. And it actually comes with 2 replacement batteries, it looks like. And back in the day, it was $5 to buy this. But take it anywhere, clips to your backpack or belt loop, game comes alive with exciting sound effects. So, pocket-sized play. This little LCD handheld game is loaded with plenty of action and sound. The special design lets you clip the game to your backpack or belt loop, so it's always close at hand whenever you have some free time. If you're in a quiet environment, you can turn off the sound so you don't disturb others. The directional buttons give you great control of the action. On, off, start, and pause buttons includes 2 AG13 batteries for age 5 and up. Check out all 3 sports clips games, each sold separately: soccer, car racing, and ice hockey. And surprisingly, even though the graphics themselves are black and white, or, predisposed images, the backgrounds are in color, which is interesting because this might be the first Radio Shack game, or even little handheld game, I've ever seen with color in it. Usually it's just predisposed graphics. And then the final little surprise of the video, this is something that I already have. I paid a pretty penny for it too. Not the game itself, but the cards that came with it. Almost impossible to find them all. They're expensive and rare. But I was on eBay rolling around one day, just browsing around, la-di-da. And lo and behold, I came across what I'm about to show you, completely sealed. And for a ridiculously low price. And so I said to myself, I have to upgrade. I will buy this sealed. And the idea is to sell the one I already have with the cards as a massive package. And here's the game that we're talking about. It is a sealed copy of Tiger's Mortal Kombat, or Midway's Mortal Kombat, but Tiger Barcode's Power Up, with 24 Mortal Kombat barcode cards. Change the action every time with the swipe of a barcode. And so here are the cards. It is a completely sealed copy. Midway Mortal Kombat, Tiger Barcodes. It began centuries ago, and now 4 mighty warriors remain to test their skills in the Sacred Challenge tournament. Is your spirit strong enough to withstand Scorpion's deadly spear attack? Are you prepared for Raiden's lightning force and Liu Kang's fireball? Does the mention of Sub-Zero's ice blast send chills up your spine? You'll need all the courage of a Shaolin master, because Goro is waiting for you. Along with realistic voice and bone-crunching sound effects, and with 24 special barcode cards thrown in, this combat changes every time you take on the challenge. So, choose from 4 mighty combatants: Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, or Sub-Zero. In the end, only the Grand Master will be left standing. And this was actually sold in a Target in 1992. I never knew that Tiger, or 94 maybe, but I didn't know Target existed back then. Where I grew up, I don't think we even had a Walmart. We had a Woolworths, we had a Bradley's, But there was no Walmart near us, and there was I didn't never heard. I thought Target came out a lot later than early 2000s is what I believed. It's how sheltered I guess I was growing up. But apparently this was sold at Target back then, or there's a Target sticker on here by accident. But either way, I am super happy to have this in the collection. So guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was relaxing, and hopefully you went down memory lane with some of the titles I've shown. Now the trick is going to be, how am I ever going to put these away? Some of these, like the Assassin's Creed games, will be pretty easy. I can slip them in where they need to go. But the rest of these games, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm running out of room. So I plan on measuring the bookshelves behind me, width-wise, height-wise, and then determining, okay, this bookshelf that I saw on Amazon, if it's the exact same width and height, or maybe the exact same width, but maybe the height's higher, with more shelving, maybe I'll be able to do what I need to do. So we'll see. If not, I'll have to figure something else out. But until then, that's my job to figure out. You don't have anything to do with that. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more video game pickup videos in the future. I have a few things that I realize I'm missing, so I'm going to try to find those. I have some games that I've already ordered that will be coming out in June, releasing in June, so you'll see those. Of course, if you're a huge video game fan and follow this channel, know that I'm a giant Mortal Kombat fan, beyond belief fan. And of course, I have pre-ordered the Mortal Kombat 1 Collector's Edition that is coming out September 19th. So when that comes in the mail, hopefully from GameStop, from what I've been told, it is extremely limited in quantity for both the Xbox Series X and PS5. Hopefully I don't get an email later on saying, hey, sorry, we couldn't fulfill your order, here's your money back. Let's pray that I get what I ordered. I will be doing an unboxing video of that. But I am excited. The goal, if you want to see some Harry Potter gameplay, or Hogwarts, I should say, gameplay, I need to start that game. I finally have the time to be able to start it, so I will be attempting to do that very soon for the PlayStation 5. You can check out the gameplay footage. Follow my regular channel, AndyVHB. I haven't really uploaded a lot to that because I now have transformed that channel into me just playing games, streaming games, and having, some people stop by and just shoot the shit with me. So if you ever want to do that, if you got nothing to do, you're more than welcome. If you see me live, just go right ahead and join in the conversation. We have a good time over there. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.